Hey there, AK Guy here. In this video, we will be taking a look at the Vivo NEX 3.
Firstly, the pressure sensor buttons. It felt a little weird at first, but after spending about 2 days with it, it began to feel really natural. The power button sensor is positioned right where my thumb would rest on when holding the device, so I didn't need to feel for the groove every time. For me, the groove is there just for reassurance. And to control the volume, I just need to take the power button as a reference. The haptic feedback you receive is also quite satisfying.
In my opinion, these are almost as good as physical buttons, and definitely way better than the Huawei Mate 30 Pro's double tap and slide to adjust volume.
When the physical button at the top, I never had to use it. In fact, it's so redundant that even the case included doesn't have a cutout for it. Speaking of the case, it has a texture that reminds me of the OnePlus Sandstone back finish. At 6.89 inch, Vivo NEX 3 has a huge display even by today's standards. So despite that 99.6% screen to body ratio, using this device one-handed can be a little challenging. It is a really nice POLED display with a waterfall curve on the side. Like the Mate 30 Pro, you do get a little bit of that fade out to black effect at the sides when you view it head on. But on the NEX 3, you are still able to see the content that are all the way at the edge as the curve is less steep. Since this is a POLED display, we do get an always on display feature. But this one was a little like on OnePlus devices where the clock would vanish after a while and will only come back when you pick up the device. Not as convenient as the one that is truly always on, but I guess this helps with the battery life. When playing music, you also get this audio wave animation when your screen is off. Really cool. Vivo NEX 3 packs a Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, which is the latest flagship processor that Qualcomm has to offer. It's paired with 8GB of RAM with 256GB of storage. As you can already guess, this is one beefy device when it comes to gaming. Cameras are a big focus these days when it comes to smartphones, and the Vivo NEX 3 is no slouch in this area either. On the rear is a triple camera setup. I actually got the labeling wrong in my hands-on video. The 13MP telephoto camera is indeed the one on top, but the 64MP main camera is the one on the left, while the right one is the 13MP ultra-wide camera.
Since Apple made a huge deal about consistency of quality across all cameras on their new iPhones, I decided to put the Vivo NEX 3 to a test and see how well it does in this area.
To make this comparison more fun, I decided to pit it against my Huawei P30 Pro using the photo mode, which is how most users are going to use it. HDR is turned on the Vivo NEX 3, but since HDR is a mode buried in the list in the P30 Pro, I did not turn it on. Huawei, if you are watching this, please make HDR a toggle instead. As you can see, colors turn out pretty consistent on the NEX 3 until you go 5x zoom when it gets a little overexposed. Meanwhile, colors are less consistent across all scenarios on the P30 Pro, with the 5x zoom introducing a blue tint. Having used the P30 Pro for over 6 months, I can say that this happens a lot of time. The winner has to be the NEX 3 for this test. But what about zooming capabilities? Vivo NEX 3 only has 2x optical zoom and 20x digital zoom, versus 5x and 50x on the P30 Pro. At max zoom, P30 Pro produces really soft images. Meanwhile, NEX 3 introduces a lot of noise to keep it looking sharp.
So after these two comparisons, which is the better device for zooming? Well, that will depend on what you're looking for. If you're after range, then the P30 Pro is definitely the one to go for. But if you care about the quality of the image when zoom in, then definitely I would say the Vivo NEX 3 has the better colors.
Here are more photos I took with zoom on the Vivo NEX 3. Next, the field of view of both ultra-wide angle cameras are about the same. The main camera can shoot up to 64MP, but you have to change to the 64MP mode and that disables zoom. As seen from this comparison, you do get more details when cropped in, but there's also a lot more noise. I will stick to taking 60MP photos on the regular photo mode. Under decent lighting, the main camera does a great job as you can see from these images. But at night is where the weaknesses start to show. NEX 3 has a night mode, but the performance is quite last gen. It does bring more brightness and better dynamic range in adequate lighting, but struggles in a close to completely dark room. Compare that to a P30 Pro and the difference is night and day. This is an area that Vivo can work on. Now, let's talk about video recording capabilities. You can record up to 4K 60fps, but you will really want to record at 1080p 30fps for this one amazing feature: Super Anti-Shake. Here is a video recorder at 1080p 60fps. Here is another video recorder at 1080p 60fps but on the ultra-wide angle. And finally, here is one recorded at 1080p 30fps with Super Anti-Shake. So much better. Here is another recording with a Super Anti-Shake but climbing up some stairs this time. And if you think that is insane, take a look at the night recording. Video is extremely noisy and lacks details, but you can see the video is still ultra stable. Insane, man. Macro mode is fantastic, allowing you to get super up close to subjects. Meanwhile, bokeh photos turn out quite good too. Finally, let's get to the front camera. It's a 60 megapixel shooter with a flash. It has great dynamic range with powerful beautification features. My only wish would be for it to have a wider angle lens. That said, there is a way to take selfies with the ultra wide angle rear camera. Simply enable voice shutter in the settings and the app will snap a picture whenever you say cheese.
Battery life is fantastic. With moderate usage, which includes an hour of Call of Duty Mobile and some YouTube videos, it was able to last me through a long day with 50% battery remaining at the end of the day.
Good news for Google Pay users too. NFC is available on the NEX 3. We also have a headphone jack, something you'll never see these days. However, one thing it lacks is wireless charging.
Lastly, let's get to the software aspect of this device. This version of FunTouch OS is just so much better than anything before it. It is still running on Android 9, but since it's a heavily modified version of Android, that doesn't really matter. Before we get to what can be improved, let's take a look at what Vivo did well this time round.
Firstly, the new camera app is just so good. Not only is the layout cleaner and easier to use, we do get a bit of customization with it. Vivo knows that different modes will appeal to different users, so we are given the options to select what modes we want to see on the slider. What a great idea, hope others will learn from them. Secondly, Vivo has their own implementation of dark mode on the NEX 3 and execution is superb. Almost all of their apps support it, and it will work even with some third-party apps like Play Store and Facebook. Some apps like YouTube though will still require you to manually turn the dark mode on in their settings. There are some visibility issues, but not very significant. You can customize a ton of things, from the home screen grid and shape of icons to what the different swipe does when you have gesture navigation enabled. Lastly, there are some really nifty features built into FunTouch OS 9.1, like the water drinking reminder, which can change your lifestyle. The gallery has a recently deleted folder, but do remember to turn it on once you set up the device. I also really love the wallpapers that Vivo has included. Now, to the renting portion of my review. There are a lot of features, but it can be overwhelming for some users, especially with the way that the settings app is organized. I can understand why you need to manually turn on OTG in the settings, but why do you need a page just for the toggle? Can't you bring it to the main settings page? Split screen support is also very limited, and the music app looks like something from 2012. I don't get why you can't change the wallpaper from the home screen too.
But despite all the issues, I must say that FunTouch OS is a lot more usable than it was a year ago. If Vivo keeps up this rate of improvements, we can expect it to be one of the better Android UIs in about a year or two. Really looking forward to that day.
In summary, Vivo NEX 3 may not be the most exciting device in the NEX lineup, but it's no doubt the best device that Vivo has so far, and it's definitely worth the $1,299 price tag. It has hardware that can match what others have to offer at this price range, and the software has finally matured to a point where I can finally recommend it to others.
And Vivo, if you're watching this, I'm more than happy to work with you to make FunTouch OS even better. If you are interested, do contact me.